Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Alex's Afternoon Art Show. Today we are doing yet another full body shot. This time it's another vertical one like we did with Bizarro a little while ago, and this time we're doing Trish from the Devil May Cry series. There's no fancy little sticker meme for that one though, like there is with Dante. But yeah, that's what we're doing today. Now there is a good chance that this may not end up as a completed video. And it's mostly because I was looking at the base sketch before I started, and I'm not pleased. I'm largely not pleased. I'm going to have to make a lot of edits to this in order to salvage it, which we'll see how well that works. But yeah, I'm going to do my best to salvage this, but I'm largely not liking a lot of it. I'm going to have to change a lot of the face. There's a lot of proportional problems here, which I'm not sure how I'm going to fix. So we shall see. We shall see what I manage. Yeah, as I said, there's quite a few proportional issues here. But I think I have an idea of how I'm going to fix some of them. Because this is the thing. A lot of the time, whenever you're in the doing of the thing, you don't necessarily notice it, but it's afterwards, which is why part of why I've started doing these base sketches so far in advance, is that when you do it initially, you don't necessarily think about all the problems, but then later on, whenever you come back to it, you might notice a lot more that you don't like about it, and can fix it. But I'm not sure I'm going to be able to fix this, so we'll see. We shall see, because, yeah, I'm going to have some work to do here. I'm going to have my work cut out for me on this one. But anyways, I'll roll the intro and then I'll be back to show you what I have. So yeah. So yeah, this is where we're at. And at a glance, you might not notice anything explicitly wrong here. However, if you get a trained eye for the length of the human body, you might notice there's some issues. For one, this hand, real small. This face, looking a little odd. The torso, pretty long as torsos go. The legs could stand to be longer. So I'm going to do a thing here which might not work at all, but it might be the thing that fixes this. So I'm going to get my lasso tool. I'm going to just do this along the base sketch there. I'm going to do that, something like that. And is that what I should be doing? Should I be bringing the legs up, or should I be bringing the rest of it down? Should I be bringing the legs down, or should I be bringing the rest of it up? Let me zoom out here. So I bring these down. That'll make her generally a lot taller, which is maybe not necessarily what we want to do. We might want to bring the rest of this down. Yeah, I think that's more what I want to do. I think I want to do this. Let's do something like that. Get a vague grab of this stuff, the upper body, and then just. Is that even? I'm actually not sure now that I'm thinking about it. I'm not sure how I'm going to fix this. It's alright. There's too much space here. That's the general issue. I think we need to bring this stuff up. I think that's what we need to do. I think we need to bring the legs up, which will make her look shorter. But that will fix some of the proportional problems, I think. Again, it's not exactly the most delicate job I've done here of fixing that. And again, there should be a little bit of space underneath the belly button, but not like that much space. Not an enormous amount of space. Let's bring this down a tiny bit in the page. How's that looking? I think that looks a little better. She's a little shorter than I had before. But, right, so now that that is fixed, now I'm going to make the legs longer, I think. So what I should do is bring her back up a tiny bit and then make the legs longer. Because that's, I think, where the problem is lying, is that the legs themselves aren't long enough. Like that actually, like that. And bring this down a tiny bit. Do this. Make her legs slightly longer. And that might be a solution. Might be. That's right. The legs should be longer now. That should, because that I think is maybe where the proportional issue is coming from. Is that, realistically speaking, she's supposed to be a little long, but not necessarily in the torso. I would say more so in the legs would be where the length should be coming in. Something like that. Let's see how that looks. That looks a little better to me right now. So, oh yeah. God, I got my headphone cable mixed up in my pen. Let's fix that as well. Forgot to do that. Right. Now, there's a lot of uncleanliness in our lines here. I did a bit of a word salad there whenever I said that. But yeah, it's right. Her legs are a little longer now, but her torso is a little shorter. So I think that should maybe fix that problem a little bit that we were having. You can tell based on some of the weirdness of the lines that I've done that a few times throughout this. I think that fixes the general proportional problem. But there is certain things, like his hand's still too small. Still don't really like the face. This arm has like some weirdness to it, of where it's like quite big at the top and very small at the bottom. But yeah, so that's one element of this has been addressed, being the torso issue. Now then, there's the issue of, as I say, the face and the hands. The hands aren't right. So I'll see about fixing that as I go. I think the other hand is actually too big. So this hand's small. I think that's big as well. I think that's part of the problem here. Jesus. Right, so I'm going to have some fixing to do here. And I'm going to have some work. I'm going to have my work cut out for me on this one. So if this one doesn't make it to the cutting room floor, that is a real surprise. But yeah, I haven't neatly done any one particular design here, because Trish's design does ever so slightly change in a lot of the games. Sometimes it changes dramatically, sometimes it changes very moderately. So as you can tell from the pose here, this pose is somewhat it is similar to the pose that she has in the art for Marvel vs. Capcom 3, in which she has very not exactly the Devil May Cry 1 design, because her hair is slightly different, and in all the games she only has one arm piece, whereas in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 she has two. I don't think she has two in Devil May Cry 1. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think she has two. And then there is the choker. Choker is slightly different, because there's the little lightning bolt. I've incorporated that from 5. Now I might consider removing that, because I don't know how much I like the little lightning bolt. I might not keep that, but yeah, that's what that looks like in 5. And her hair is, again, it doesn't look exactly like it does in the first game. Because in the first game, I think it's more to the side, the parting. I think the parting is slightly more to the side. I'm not sure. Because her hair changes in each game. In 1 and 2 it's basically the same, but in 4 and 5 it's completely different each time. So in 4 it's back, in 5 it's middle parted, and yeah, then typically it's middle but slightly to the side. It's typically how it is. That's how it is in the first game, but I think it's more to the side than this is. This is more, I would say, close to how her hair is in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, where it's kind of more to the middle side. It's, yeah, middle and slightly to the side. So, yeah. Anyways, I've been talking for quite a bit here about all these fixes that I'm going to have to do. So, without further ado, I think I'm going to actually attempt to employ some of them. Because, yeah, there's just issues generally with her face. Her face just isn't looking right to me. This gun is also looking not right either. It's just an odd shape, so I'm going to need to fix that as well. Ugh, yeah. She might still have too much upper body. I think her shoulders are a little too defined. I'm going to have to change that as well. Oh god. Yeah, I'm going to have quite a bit here to do, I think. We'll see if I can actually finish it. But yeah, anyways, I believe I will begin the drawing process. Trying to think now if there's anything else I meant to say, because I don't think there is. Again, most of what I've been talking about here is just the salvage job, because that is going to be a sizable part of this. Yeah, I think that is genuinely going to be basically the entirety of my details here, is going to be trying to salvage this from what we've got so far, because as I say, I'm not huge on it so far. Chances are I'm going to have to do a lot of work in order to fix this. But yeah, anyways, I will begin, and then I'll obviously return once I'm starting the colors, or if there's any big things I need to talk about. I don't think there is, because, I mean, I've already talked for what is ostensibly half the video at this point, so yeah, anyways, I'll begin. So, we are done the details. I've done everything in my power, I think, to make a lot of fixes. I think proportionately there's still some minor problems. I still think her torso is a little long. I don't know if it's just because the trousers are low rise or what, because that is obviously part of the design. But I think it's maybe messing with my brain here a little bit, and that's what it is, because it's not something that I normally draw. So I think that might be part of what's screwing it up for me in my mind. I think I managed to equalize the hand sizes, although this hand does still look a little small, but I think that's just because it occupies less space on the screen. Yeah, I tried to maybe trim in this hand a tiny bit and then make this one a little bigger. This hand still, again, doesn't occupy as much space because we're seeing it at an angle, seeing it like at that angle, so you're not seeing very much of it. And then obviously the fingers are spread out, so you're not seeing a huge amount of it regardless. I think I largely fixed her general proportions, but I think there is some minor issues here still, which I can't necessarily put my finger on. The gun doesn't look exactly right. I think it might just be too big, but I mean, I think it's fine. I think it's probably fine. I think it's the barrel in comparison to the handle is quite off, but that's also kind of how it looks from the reference images that I have open here. That is kind of just how it looks, so I'm not sure. But yeah, I think I'm probably going to carry on with this. I don't see any reason to just nip this in the bud just yet. Mostly because the rest of this actually I don't think is going to be particularly hard at all. Like, I've only got like literally a handful of colors to do. There's, like, you count them on one hand how many colors I have to do. And yeah, like, I generally think a lot of that stuff, I mean, I think I'm probably, maybe to mask some of the problems with the gun, I think I'm going to put some yellow lightning around this. Because I obviously didn't include the yellow, or the little lightning bolt on the choker. So I think I'm probably going to include the yellow lightning around the gun, because that makes maybe a little bit more sense. Because I was going to consider putting like a little bit of smoke coming out of the barrel, but I actually think that the yellow lightning wrapping around the barrel might look a little bit more interesting. So I think I'll do that. I think I fixed the face anyways. I think the face looks a little better now. Narrowing the eyes and then kind of changing the expression and stuff like that and rounding out the edge I think helped a little bit. I think largely, I think most of this is better than it was before. I think it's obviously an improvement, but I don't know if I necessarily like it yet. But that could just be a thing with it just being the details, because I haven't yet done the colors. So yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do for the background color. I was thinking of doing yellow, but if I'm going to be doing yellow lightning, then that's obviously going to get blended in. I might just throw red on it. I might just throw red, or like an orangey color or something like that, and then have like red highlights. That's probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a colorful light line anyways, but I'm thinking maybe something like that, something like a red light line or an orange light line or something like that. Might work for me. But I think I'm going to make the background a little darker so that our yellow lightning stands out. But yeah, I think that's generally kind of a lot of the stuff which I fixed. I think the bend at the ankle here actually looks quite good on the boots. It's not something I thought of really. I think a lot of the individual details look right. I think it's just the way that they coalesce doesn't exactly work in my mind. The thing about it is just looking off to me still. I think it's just whichever way I kind of mishmash these poses together, because obviously, as I've mentioned recently, I've been doing a lot of the Frankenstein method, as I call it, which is just taking a bunch of different reference images and then merging them together, and then bringing it all together whenever I'm actually drawing it. But I think whichever way that these have kind of blended together just isn't necessarily working for me. But yeah, I figured throwing in one of these vertical poses would be a nice little change of pace, because a lot of what I'm doing recently has been the full-bodied poses, but on a wide shot. So I think maybe trying one of the verticals was a nice change. But yeah, I think there's definitely better ones that I've got coming up anyways. I'll say that much. Because yeah, obviously I'm not done, but this is just something I'm thinking about now. I may as well start mixing together the color, or trying to figure out the colors while I'm doing this. But yeah, like, I mean, it's one of those things where I'm like, as soon as my brain catches up, it's one of those things where I'm just kind of like, yeah, I think largely the stuff that I've got on the horizon is decent enough, and this is maybe definitely the weaker of the bunch, just because the certain things that aren't working quite right, just not working for me. But yeah, anyways, I will do these colors and then we'll be back to do the painted shading, which again, that won't take very long either, because again, not got many colors going on. But yeah, anyways, I'll do this and then I'll be back for that. So yeah, anyways. Okay, so that is our colours done. That was remarkably quick. I'm realising now that I forgot to do the lightning on the gun. I'll just do that later. I'll do that at the end. I was going to do it during this section, but I imagine it actually probably be easier to do at the end now that I think about it. But, yeah. So, yeah, I've got to do the painted shading now. I think it's sort of coming together a little bit more. I'm kind of not sure what I want to do with that background yet. I feel like I should do more than what I have right now. I should maybe have a gradient or something going on. More than what is there currently, which is to say not very much. Not sure what I'm looking to do with it. But realistically speaking, our painted shading shouldn't take too long. All the rest of this shouldn't take very long. And I mean, I'm only 2.5 hours in here now, so I mean, this is the thing, there's not a huge amount left to do. I've kind of done the majority of this. So yeah, I think... Is there anything I needed to go over again? Not really, no. I suppose just that, yeah, I still am not sure what I want to do with that background. I think there should maybe be a gradient going on somewhere. Maybe you just add like a tiny pinch of red or something, like normal red, not the kind of pinkier red that I've got here now. Something that is a little bit, that kind of disperses the colors a little bit better. Something that will agree maybe a little bit more with the gradient maps and obviously the texture at the end. I'm not sure, but I am thinking. And I'm not entirely sure what I want to do just yet. Yeah, I am gonna obviously put in a colorful light line. Yep, drop my pen. I'm gonna put in a colorful light line, as I said at the beginning, not at the beginning, but earlier. All that stuff, and that's what I'm going to do with that, using the lightning, which will be yellow. So yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like there's something missing, something that I'm maybe forgetting to discuss here. But I feel like this has been oddly quick, and I think maybe that's what's throwing me off here, is that the last time I did one of these verticals was Bizarro, and that took a hell of a long time. So, this is the thing. I'm feeling like there's something I'm missing here, and that's maybe what's throwing me off, but I'm also not sure. I'm not sure, and I can't really say. But yeah, our painted shading should be reasonably easy and kind of quick. And then the detailed shading and the light line is obviously after this. And that isn't particularly difficult either, usually. So, realistically speaking, not too much that will really hinder us at all. I mean, there's not enough silver to really... A lot of these colours, there isn't really enough of them to warrant even doing the painted shading. That's something which I do a lot as well. Something which you might notice if you've watched a few of these before, is that whenever I tend to do the painted shading, I don't always paint over everything. If something doesn't take up a huge amount of space, or is very thin, like the silver, it's very thin in these sections around here, so I'm probably not going to bother doing painted shading over the silver. That'll just be for the detailed shading. I'll save some time by not doing that. And then, like, some bits like that I might exempt just for the sake of time. Just for the sake of keeping things moving. Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like there's definitely something which I'm missing here, but I'm not sure. Anyways, I will start doing this painted shading, and then I will be back to do the detailed shading and the light. And that'll be us, basically. So yeah. Okay, so that is our painted shading done. So I'm feeling a little bit more okay with this as time is going on. I think I might apply like a little bit of like a central light coming from like the middle here in the background, so that it'll kind of I'm not going to be applying like speed lines or anything like that. I'll just apply just something in the middle so that there's a little bit more going on than just the solid color. I think the solid color maybe doesn't do quite enough for me. I think I need something else going on. So I'll do that in a little while. I'll do that during this section, I suppose, because there's no reason not to. So what have I got to do during this section? I've got to do the detailed shading, which shouldn't take too long. We're only just over the 3-hour mark, so we're pretty close to the end as things go. I got to do my light line, which shouldn't be too difficult either. That'll just be along this edge here. And yeah, that's kind of all the stuff really. I gotta do the lightning on the gun as well, but that'll take 2 minutes. So realistically speaking, not much left to do. The rest of this should be pretty quick. So I will get on with it, and then I will wrap up. I'll do my gradient maps and all that stuff, and I'll wrap up. So yeah, anyways, I'll carry on. Okay, so that is us done, basically. Did my little background fixes, did my colorful light line, which sort of is in tune with the background, sort of, because it's still red. Did my yellow lightning around the gun, which I think looks cool. Overall, this is a decent enough drawing, I think. Especially, I think what would have otherwise been like maybe a C tier drawing gets elevated up to maybe B tier just because of the sheer amount of effort I had to put in to fix it. Because you've seen what this began as, I think you can maybe attest to the fact that this is certainly greater than how it looked initially. So I think that's not right. I think that is something at least worth praising, is just how much effort this took to actually get to be good, or even passable at the very least. I think that's what we're looking for right there. Maybe slightly pink that up. Slightly pink that red up, just so that it's not too fleshed out. So I'm going to put that in an overlay. See how that looks? Not great. Soft light's a little better. So turn that down to 70%. I like 70%, a little bit more. 70% works a little better for me here. Alright. And to make a duplicate, I'm going to have to write in my signature because I just realized I forgot to do that. Now we need to do a luminosity so that I can bring out the colors again. Bring out the individual colors, turn that down 20%. Make a duplicate of that. And then make this one color burn. Turn that down to... Actually, no, I think that one actually looks alright at 10%. Because it brings back out the black, but I think I'll turn it down to 5% just because it does make things very dark. Right, so I need to put in my signature very quickly because I realized I forgot to do that. Then I need to throw in the texture, which of course will only take 5 seconds, so I'll just do that in but a moment. Put that there, that's serviceable. Yeah, you know, I do think this works. I do think this works for me. Now, it took a little while for me to come around on it, but I think I'm all right with this. I think it's more so just the kind of the way that it came out in the end. I actually like a little bit more. It reminds me a little bit of if you played Devil May Cry 1, you might remember the end credits has these flashes of that's not what I meant to do. It has these flashes of the characters doing like just cool poses while the credits are rolling, and this sort of reminds me of that. It had this very distinct kind of red background to it, and this kind of reminds me of it actually. So we're not going to want too much texture here. I would say about 20% and no more, because it's going to look very intense on this background. But I suppose that does make it look a little bit more murky and evil, which I guess maybe works, sort of. Sort of works if that's what we're going for. That sort of kind of murky background, which looks a little bit hellish, something like that. But yeah, I thought that was alright. Didn't take that long, shockingly. 3.5 hours. That's pretty short for one of these. Typically these take nearly 5 nowadays. So yeah, getting it done in that amount of time is actually quite surprising. So yeah, I'm alright with that. I'm pretty happy with this. I feel like this could have definitely been worse. And it was. You even saw. I have proof. I have the proof that you've seen that this definitely could have been worse, a lot worse, as a matter of fact. And it was worse for a period of time. But I think I made it a little better. I don't think I made it great, but I like the final product actually. I think the way that all the colors kind of come together, especially in the gradient maps, look quite nice. I'm pretty happy with this actually. I think it's got a nice kind of warm but kind of weird tone to it. I think it's mostly the red highlight also adds a lot of that kind of weird kind of look to it that I like. But yeah, I'm alright with that. I'm also alright with kind of just leaving it there, keeping it brief. I didn't have a topic for this one, so I mean, maybe I think the topic can be fixing a drawing, making kind of starting from a shoddy base sketch. Maybe that's, or something like that. Maybe I'll just like, I don't know what would a good term for that be. Reconstruction, maybe. Maybe is the a good term for that. But yeah, I don't feel the need to kind of do a lengthy outro this time. I think I'm good with just kind of keeping it brief, more or less. So yeah, I suppose that's it. Oh, actually, yeah, I'll keep it brief. So I'll just say, yeah, if you like the video, do whatever it is that you'd normally do, whether that be liking it or not. I would, of course, prefer if you liked it, but I can't make you do that. So, again, whatever you're comfortable with. Same deal, if you want to subscribe, of course, I'd be happy if you subscribed, but it's not exactly going to ruin my day if you don't, because no numbers change. The number doesn't go down if you don't subscribe. So, yeah. But yeah, presumably you've seen a YouTube video before, so I don't need to tell you where the subscribe button is. It's below the video. And yeah, if you've got any suggestions for any characters or drawings you'd like to see me do in the future, you can leave a comment. Be polite, please. And yeah, that might happen. Who knows? If you leave a comment, anyways, if you just say it aloud to the screen, it's not going to happen. But yeah, and if you choose to watch the next video, I'll see you next time. So with all that said, I'll say goodbye and I'll leave you. So, bye-bye.